Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. Hope everyone's doing well. It's Tuesday and I have had the very dubious privilege of listening to the finest bit of double speak that one would find outside of George Orwell's 1984, or perhaps the utterances of former and now disgraced British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who apparently during COVID was happily drinking booze while the rest of the country was in lockdown. I am, of course, referring to the bitterest man in boxing, or perhaps we should now say the most delusional man in boxing's recent utterances on the UK show TalkSport. Bear with me. We have seen video images of a party held at Stan Dubois' family home the day Daniel Dubois, Britain's hope and former IBF world champion, lost to the great Alexander Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world at Wembley Stadium. We have heard from sources that the party comprised around 70 people. We have also heard that Daniel Dubois asked his daddy, could he please go for a drive, as there were many people at this party that Daniel Dubois did not know. We have also heard that the party was late arriving at Wembley Stadium, that Daniel Dubois had to wait apparently 30 minutes or more while a kerfuffle was taking place, as the party goers were ticketless and were being denied entry. Daddy Dubois, Stan or Dave, depending on which you prefer, apparently said, if these people, my party, cannot come in, then my son's not fighting. We know that Daniel Dubois walked into Wembley Stadium at 8:16 and his ring walk was at 10:06. We know that he was walking into Wembley Stadium when Alexander the Great already had his hands wrapped. So, the bitterest man in boxing, aka the most delusional man in boxing, would have us now believe this was not a party. This was a gathering. Very important distinction, no doubt. I really am at a loss for words. According to Spencer Fearon, the gathering contained many roadmen. Initially, of course, I was thinking that these were, the cloth cap brigade of my childhood, the men who seemed to struggle getting their umbrella up. If you see the road signs in the UK, it looks like a guy trying to get his umbrella up. And I thought, good solid salt of the earth, lads who are working away on the tarmacadam, that they are, having a little bit of a gathering. Apparently, this was a different type of roadman. Roadman in UK slang means, generally speaking, young street culture individuals with a somewhat propensity for engaging in disruptive behavior, possibly criminal behavior, often associated with illicit street drugs. Courtesy of Google, not a term that instinctually came to mind for me. But anyhow, this gathering of roadmen, not party, Roadmen. Apparently this happened also prior to the AJ fight. So, yes, of course, why not have a gathering? Well, of course, it's complete and utter tosh, isn't it? Complete nonsense. An absolute load of, let's stick with British vernacular, an absolute load of bollocks. I mean, who does Don Charles think he's pulling the wool over the eyes of? I mean, does anybody really believe this apparent distinction between a party and a gathering? Really? If you do, I've got some absolutely spectacular waterfront, oceanfront property for sale. You just have to look a very, very long way. No, it's all complete rubbish, isn't it? In my view, it's trying to obfuscate the absolute ineptitude and lack of professionalism that permeated this entire shambolic run-up, preparation and fight. From the get-go, where Daniel Dubois, somebody wound up the little battery at the back and said, get in the ring there and say rude things to Alexander Usyk at the precise moment he's speaking about his much beloved and deceased father. Really, really get in his face and make a fool of yourself. To the disgusting and vile behavior that we saw at the first press conference. The "you're not a real Christian, you're a liar, you're a cheat," followed by the spectacle in a dressing room where an idiot with less than half a dozen professional fights is standing in front of the finest heavyweight of this generation and speaking in a way that was truly deserving of a facial rearrangement. Through to this gathering at the family home, the late arrival, and then a game plan that quite frankly looked as inept as the game plan that Anthony Joshua had. A foolish plan. After all the talk of chaos, put it on him, make him old overnight. Yes, quite. Yes, indeed. And of course, we now have the revisionist history that, this all worked really well before. Success prior may have come in spite of all that nonsense. I mean, we heard raw and unrehearsed, or apparently unrehearsed, Lawrence Okoli and Joe Parker being asked by Simon Jordan what they thought. So they were both in shock. We've heard Johnny Nelson in shock. We've heard Duke McKenzie in shock. We've heard Carl Froch. Do I need to go on? Dave Allen. Professional athletes who are allowed to speak freely will say, whether you're preparing for a darts game, lawn bowls, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, all this distraction stuff can't possibly help, can it? Right? And so we're now trying to, the bitterest man in boxing is now trying to gaslight us that, nothing to see here. This wasn't a party. This was a gathering. Anybody think we're talking of a nice, quiet prayer circle where Uncle Bill and Auntie Edna come round and say, we really hope you do well, Daniel. We'll be praying for you. Preposterous. Absolute preposterous. And anybody who believes a single syllable that comes out of the mouth of the bitterest man in boxing, or quite frankly, anybody associated with Team Dubois, needs their head read and their ears checked. That's my view. Your view may be completely different. And if it is, let me know in the comment section below. But just generally, really ask yourselves whether it's, Little League Baseball you're involved with, or whether it's, high-level professional sports. Does this make sense to you? Really? If it does, I got a funny feeling you might be in a minority. But hey, your mileage may vary, of course. Anyway, if you like this video, please hit those thumbs up things. Please share. Please subscribe. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, just hit the subscribe button. That would do me a favor. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But most importantly, have a fabulous day wherever you are. And don't believe the lies of people like Boris Johnson or the bitterest man in boxing. Cheers. Bye-bye.